girl looks into the camera. Her hair's pulled back. She wears a mask. She's from a future now forever forgotten. And she's me. She's not important. All that's important is the finger she holds up before the camera. Stare at it. In a moment, she'll begin to move it. Your eyes will grow tired, but don't let yourself blink. It works better when you're tired. Follow it. Left, right, left, right. It's just a bit uncomfortably fast, isn't it? You're having trouble keeping up. You want to close your eyes, but you know if you do, you'll have to start all over if you want to hear her story properly. So focus. Keep your eyes open and follow the finger left, right, left, right. Now up, down, and left and right, and down and up. Keep your eyes open. In a minute, she'll tell you to close them, but you need to hold on a few moments more. Left, right, up, down, left, up, down, close. Do you remember? What are you supposed to remember? The thought floats somewhere behind you. You try to see it, but it escapes your view. He's standing in front of you. Light just graces his figure. It flows in from dusty windows somewhere behind you. It's not much. The days are still short, and the sun will set soon. But it's enough. It falls quickly off to darkness somewhere beyond him, and around his feet you see a smattering of footprints in the dust, some large, some small, some older, some newer, some made by shoes, some by socks, and some by bare feet. Maybe you can even find a handprint or two if you try. If you try, you won't have to look at him. It is him, isn't it? Grew. Go on. Look at him. Maybe it's his face you're forgetting. But no, you remember him mostly. You're forgetting something else. Maybe it's not important, or maybe you don't care if it is. Watch his lips as he speaks. You can see them. The light is bright enough. He's guarded. No. He's nervous. Is he unsure what to expect from you? You can see the hairs on his arms standing on end, lit against the shadows behind him. Are your hairs raised too? Everything is so strange. Fuzzy almost. It doesn't feel real being here with him, does it? Is that why you're nervous too? Or is it whatever you're forgetting? Gru's voice. Try not to fall as the wave of memories hits you. Let them wash over you, however dizzying they may be. What did he say again? No costume? Why does this question puzzle you? It's an obvious one to ask. You could have at least worn your mask, but had it simply skipped your mind? Or had you wanted to trust him? Your friend who you only mostly remember. Maybe it's not important. You feel your shoulders lift and fall again. The shrug is not quite an answer to his question, but then you don't quite have an answer. Then again, maybe you do have an answer. You're not the only one out of costume. Take a breath. Open your mouth. Push the air out of your lungs and through your vocal cords. Could ask you the same thing, you say. He glances over his shoulder. Are the others hiding somewhere? Try to see. Try to follow his eyes. You wish you still had your bugs. Your eyes can't see anything, just remains of old machines covered by sheets and cobwebs. Again, you feel uneasy. You think you may know what you've been forgetting, but I didn't tell you how to get here, he says. If you can do that, then there's not much point in costumes, is there? Don't you have a ready response? Some line of banter to shoot back? No, it's not important. Come on. His voice urges you to follow. He's already halfway up the spiral staircase in the corner. But you remember now, don't you? You remember why you came here, why you agreed to meet him. The words haven't quite formed in your mind, but you remember the feeling, the fear, the tightness behind your chest. Are you feeling it now? Speak. Say his name. You don't know what you'll say after, but you know you can start with just that, just his name, just one syllable. Brian, you say. Brian, you say again. We need to... Why did you stop? Is it because of him? He's turned. He's looking at you. His eyes are wide. But he's not looking at you. He's looking past you. Turn. Turn around. Turn now. Don't blink. It's still a few feet away, but don't blink. The dim light coming in through the windows just graces its wings, much as it had Brian before it. You can see the outline of one outstretched arm. The angels. They are why you came here today. They are why you agreed to meet Brian. They are what you had almost forgotten upon seeing him again. Flash! You blink at the bright light, and suddenly the angel's hand is an inch from your face. You almost fall backwards, but catch yourself just in time, stumbling back a few steps instead. You don't know if you blinked, but if you did, then Brian must not have. Brian, tell him. Make yourself say the words. Don't blink. Try to catch your breath. Don't blink. They can move if you do. They're fast, but don't look too closely either. They master you. And don't use your power either. What do we do? He asks. You can hear the urgency in his voice. Why is he asking you? You just tell stories. You don't even have a power, do you? But you have to think of something. Take a breath. Wait, you almost blinked, didn't you? Keep your eyes open. Keep them open. And try to think. You could step around it. If you're careful, it won't be able to move. Brian could come down the stairs and then... But wait, what about... Their names leave your lips before you even realize you're speaking. Rachel? Alec? They too had been your friends once. Brian doesn't answer you. It's answer enough, isn't it? Don't cry. If you cry, you won't be able to see, and if you can't see, it might get Brian too. Walk down the stairs, you say, and don't blink. Do you hear him moving behind you? His feet descending one stair than the next. And again, the thought of stairs reminds you. There'd been 2 angels last time. The footprints, the bare ones. How big had they been? And had he seen handprints too? Or had you only been trying to distract yourself? Can you remember? Wait, you almost blinked again. There's another one, you say. Let out a breath. It's okay if you're shaking. That's normal. As normal as any of this. And now let out another. But wait. Did Brian's steps stop? Is he still there? You can't turn to look. You can barely whisper his name. Brian? You ask. Brian? Yeah. His voice is no louder than your own. Let out one more breath. You need to find it, you say. The other one. It's a baby. Find it, he asks. But follow the footprints, you tell him. The tiny ones in the dust. Quickly. You hear Brian take the remaining 2 steps down the staircase. He fumbles for something in his pockets. You wish you could see. But a thought distracts you. Why had the baby angel left footprints? The grown angel, its parent, it hadn't. Do you remember that spot just behind where the TARDIS had stood? That spot in the dust where there should have been an imprint, and yet there was none, was there? But now, your eyes dart downwards involuntarily, but thankfully not enough to let the angel leave your sight, not enough for it to move. This angel did leave footprints. You don't understand. Why? I found it. You hear echoing from somewhere behind you. How do you defeat an angel? They're clever, aren't they? Adult ones, anyway. But what about babies? Brian's voice reaches you again. Now what? How far away is he from the angel? Ask him. He answers you. A few feet. Back away a bit more, you say. That'll give you some time. Then blink. But, Brian, you say, you don't know when you'll get to blink again. I've not blinked for over a minute now. Blink while you can. You hear him draw a quick breath. Is he okay? It moved. You want to roll your eyes. Now back away a few feet more, you say. Come toward me. We know where they both are now. We can leave together. A few feet, then blink. A few more, then blink again. His feet move again, and again, and again. He's getting closer. You want to start edging around the statue, but you know you can't. Not yet. Instead, you do something terrifying. You take a step forward. You're almost here, you tell Brian. Now ready yourself. Take a deep breath. Take one more step forward. It's inches away now. One blink and you're worse than dead. It's following me, he says. Won't it? We'll figure it out, you say. Just a bit further. Follow my voice. We'll leave back to back. Now move slowly. Raise your arms. Reach out your hands. They're shaking, but it's okay. It'll all be okay if you just lift them and don't blink. Lift them and cover the angel's eyes. Brian, here. He's just behind you. Ask him. You have to know. How far is it? 3 feet. Maybe 4. Your eyes burn. Use the adrenaline flowing through you to keep them open just a few moments longer. Okay, you say. You're not sure the word came out right. Slowly, move to the side. Keep an eye on it. You can hear Brian moving behind you. Now it's your turn. Lower your hands from its eyes. Don't touch it. You don't know what will happen if you do. You were never quite clear on that. And now, take first one step, then another, then another. Will it work? Give yourself some room, you say, and on 3, blink. 1, 2, 3. Finally, you blink. It didn't move, says Brian. You begin to laugh. Not at the angels, you wouldn't tempt fate that much, but in relief. You take a few steps back and finally you can see them both. You barely allowed yourself to hope it could work, but it had. It can't, you tell Brian. It can't move. Neither of them can. Look. But how? Weeping angels keep their hands over their eyes so they don't see each other, you explain. Your breath still heavy. It's okay. Remind yourself it's okay to blink now. It's safe. But we caught the parent mid-attack, you continue. And the baby, well, I guess it didn't know any better, did it? Or maybe children just aren't very good at doing what their parents would want. Brian says something. You don't quite hear him. His words are unimportant. Let your eyes close. They don't need to be tired anymore. In a moment, not now, but in a moment, you can return to where you were before. Before you fought the angels, before you were in the dark with Crew beneath the Undersider's lair, before you followed a girl's finger moving up and down and side to side. In a moment, I'll tell you to open your eyes and everything will be as it was. You will no longer be the girl on your screen, and she will no longer be unimportant. In a moment, open. I'm here, and so are you. And the angels, well, they won't move again. I didn't think it would work. I barely allowed myself to hope, but even just remembering makes my heart race and my breath unsteady. Grew, well, he's left town, I think. I don't blame him. He took him, I guess she's not, well, I said his name, but I shouldn't say more. I still haven't seen the doctor again. Maybe the angels got him. Would serve him right. If I do see him, I don't know what I'll do. It's because of him. There. Lisa and Rachel and Alec, they're all gone. Gone again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for crying again.